Hello. Missed me already? Yep, Dreadful Rick is back. It's been a while since I posted content, right? Week? 2 weeks ago? Something like that. Missed me already? Anywho, so I decided to record this. So in about a week, well, in the coming weekend, will be, it'll be Easter Sunday coming up, and we are at the early phases of the spring equinox. So I have a few things that I have acquired and have not shown on camera or have not really gotten a chance to talk about. I thought I'd share with you guys, and kind of to celebrate this seasonal occasion, or just an excuse to just babble on some more on camera if you're willing to tolerate it. I can barely tolerate myself. So yeah. So it is the year 2026, and yeah. So as we are beginning the spring, people like myself, I actually consider spring as the beginning of the year. A lot of people do the whole January to December cycle. I get it, that makes sense. That's when the ball drops, the whole deal. But for me, the real year begins right around this period, when spring hits. So why am I saying all this? So I thought it'd be a good excuse to pull this little gem over here. So I have a literal 40-year-old calendar over here. And let's go back to a very great year, especially great year in music, great year in metal. And that would be the Kiss official calendar of 1986. Every Kiss begins with K, right? Here we go. Look at this. Look at that thing. In all its fashion glory. There's Gene and Paul, Eric Carr, Bruce Kulick. I mean, how do you say no to this thing? Can't wait to get the weird stares when I put this thing up on my wall. So it does not disappoint. You get, like here's January, and good old Paul. Yep. Pretty nice guitar, actually. And we have a February. Paul again. Paul likes to get his photo taken. Look at that. Yeah. I can't ever have such a momentous and gargantuan hairy chest like that fella. Here's more amazing pics. That's from March. And for this month of April, here we go. Look at Mr. Carr over here. Man, look at those zebras. May. Wow, look at Bruce over here. This was a thing. All right, kids. This thing was a thing. There was a year I must have been 6th or 7th grade when I did the whole, exposed shoulder look, and I was poor and I had hand-me-down clothing, and that was my excuse. It wasn't for fashion reasons, but it conveniently worked out. And then we have June with the rest of the guys here. So I'm showing you all this because I don't plan on showing this again on camera at any point. And for those of you who missed out on this calendar in 1986, you can see what you're missing out on. I mean, come on. Look at the fashion. July, August. I mean, we can't forget about Gene. I mean, look at this. A literal axe. But at this point, they've already removed the makeup, so you get to see them all exposed as they are. September. There's Gene again. So, busy year for Gene. I know he was doing that Trick or Treat movie. And doing quite a bit of producing work at the same time. October. Look at this. No gaudy stuff. It's as like he had in the other pictures. And interestingly enough, there's Mr. Carr again. Rest in peace. November. Just look at that fashion. Look at that hair, man. Three cans of Aquanet would definitely take care of that. We got December, of course. So we got to begin and end with Mr. Paul over here. I mean, look at that. Look how beautiful this is. So there is your official Kiss calendar of 1986. 40 years ago, fellas. 40 years ago. This gem has dropped onto the world. I had a 1985 calendar, I believe, at one point in my possession. I sent that to, was it you, Matt? Accusation Network? I think I sent him that. Yeah. A few things. I'm going to show just random and tandem stuff on camera and kind of just keep this ship moving. Here's some thrift store finds. And I couldn't say no to this because they were asking a little more than what a thrift store should charge for this, but they know what they had. So, a little context. I already have 2 copies of Saxon's Wheels of Steel. A regular jewel case and a record store day edition copy of a reissue of, Wheels of Steel. So why the hell do I have this? It's very hard for me to say no to a media book in all forms. As I was walking away, I go, do I really need another copy of Wheels of Steel? Yes. And here it is. Damn it. It's calling my name. It's actually pretty cool. Like, it's got this little setup. I think this is the only quote pressing of this edition that I'm aware of out there. So, pretty cool. 2018, 2019, something like that when this thing dropped. There's the band. I mean, this is a classic heavy metal album. 1980. Look at that. It just has a lot of cool old pictures. I don't even think my jewel case has all this stuff in there. Not that I'm aware of. I don't remember. But having it in this form, either way, it's still pretty cool. So this was heavy metal back in the early 80s. And so yeah, it's just lyrics and whatnot. And that's just a very iconic image. I mean, shit. And there's the CD, a lovely blue, Wheels of Steel. So have at it, guys. And another interesting find was this Iron Maiden Visions of the Beast DVD. So it has seen better days, but the discs inside it's 2 DVDs, and it's a pretty decent shape. So it did get banged around a bit, as well as sitting in the thrift store shelves. So I kind of saw this right away. I walked in the room, and there were a bunch of people walking around it, and I'm like, what the hell? Really? Like, how long has that thing been sitting there? So, cool little slipcase. So I'm glad they gave it a cool little clear plastic there to kind of keep it a little more protected. But basically, this is kind of a compilation all the way up to Brave New World, I believe. All the videos of that period. So, back at you, Eddie. And, yeah, so there you go. Look how beautiful that is. I believe one of the teeth are not very... It's not going to stay on. So that's why they have it taped over here. But, yeah, pretty cool. So it's got a whole bunch of music videos. Just about every single Iron Maiden official music video. All the way up to Brave New World. And yeah. So basically there it is listed on the back. So I got a couple of Iron Maiden DVDs. And happy to add it to the collection. So, yeah, I got a few other things I'm going to just pull. Also, I'm glad to have recently acquired this. Had a CD copy for a good while. So this is Deadhead. And Deadhead has in 2 words, Deadhead. Even though the logo is confusing because it looks like it's one. They didn't put a space character in there. And there's the feast begins at dawn. And again, this is a death thrash band out of the Netherlands. And this is kind of a case where I feel like this band kind of got off on the wrong footing, and just because a couple of things have held them back, and you look at what was going on with the extreme metal underground during this time, 1991, a lot of competition, death metal was getting pretty big, the Mora Sound stuff was making a huge impact down in Florida, obviously the stuff going on in Sweden, all over the world. And then you had these guys who kind of came in and put this out. A Dream Deceiver, the follow-up's pretty good too, although I think they switched drummers. And so, yeah, we got Tom, Hans, Robbie, and Ronnie. Robbie and Ronnie. There you go. It's not confusing, right? And I got some cool fucking pics. Like me, look at this. Just insane. And just like the stuff that's going on in that period. Look at that. He's got an Invocator shirt. They give you an idea kind of what they sound like. If you're an Invocator fan, I don't see why you wouldn't like this. So, pretty cool. And so I don't believe this has been reissued since 1991 officially on vinyl that I'm aware of. So this kind of finally made its headway, and it's cool to finally get a copy. I think that what really put this album down was that this reissue right here is remastered, which it desperately needed it. So the vocals, it's still considered thrash metal, but if you like bands like take the early Creator, take Sadus, you know, if you like that sort of bordering on the edge of death metal, you know, style thrash, these guys kind of fit that bill. These guys are pretty intense. What brought it down was the production. So I think two of the members were involved in their own mixing and mastering on this thing, which is usually not a good idea, you know, if you're not a prodigy at the stuff already. You know, I get where there's limitations with the budget and, you know, and little money, right, to be able to kind of try and make this happen. So Hammerheart decided to kind of give it a proper remaster treatment. So it's kind of like, and you'll notice right away, the worst thing about this is the drums. The performance is great. The music is great. This thing rules. It's the production of the drums that really bring it down. And the guitars are really thin. The overall sound is very thin for something this heavy and aggressive. You know, it needs to be more bolder. It kind of stand out. You know, I imagine, in my mind, it should have been like the first Cannibal Corpse album. You know, just kind of that kind of nastiness. I feel like this really could have done a lot, and this would have been a lot more important for the underground. You know, I talked to some people who aren't into death metal, don't even know this album, you know, or not very familiar with it. And so with this remastering, the drums are a little more muted. It's not as overwhelming, you know, as it was on the original mix. And they thickened up the sound, so it doesn't have the thin kind of just tinny thing going on like they did in the original one. You might prefer the original mixing if you like that kind of old school, just kind of very real, primal, very raw kind of production. But for me, I feel like this is where it needed to go. The drums are still not perfect, but it's much better, you know, than it was before. So band's still around. You know, I think they put out a re-recorded album last year, and still doing their thing, you know. But definitely, here's where it began. I know they did they did a split before they put out this album, and I'm drawing a blank at the moment. But it was a bunch of Dutch bands, and which kind of helped kind of make room and get some kind of recognition out in the underground. But yeah, cool shit. Deadhead, definitely, you know, again, if you have never heard of them or have not checked out this album for one reason or another, you know, it's definitely worth a listen. But I would encourage you to check out the reissue and the remastered version, because so that way it's not so annoying. You know, you don't get the Saint Anger drums kind of pounding in your head over this again. Hans did a great job, but man, sorry about the mix. So there you go, Deadhead. So what else did I get? All right. This one here, you know, this one dropped back in December of 2025, and I noticed the lack of people kind of talking about this band and this particular album. I figured they are that consistent. You know, Abysmal Grief has been around since, late 90s, and they have been very consistent with their release schedule. It's like, I feel like every year they put out something. And this is no different. They have a whole slew of EPs, a whole shitload of EPs. And this one right here, which is, how do I say it? Teuta Philosophia, which translates to, I think it's disgusting philosophy. And yeah, like I said, Avant Garde put this out, and about the seventh or eighth full length with a slew of other material. I've always enjoyed this band. So if you like your brand of doom metal out of Italy, these guys definitely fit the mold for that kind of thing. They it's cool. It's a really nice thick digipack. So they definitely did not cheap out on this stuff. I usually like the grade of stuff that Avant-Garde puts out, and when it comes to their digipacks, they usually don't disappoint. So this right here, what can I say, man? Like, Abysmal Grief is one of those bands that do their own. They kind of do their own thing. They're like their own little island within everybody else's kind of island. They play that sort of really spooky, ooky, kooky type brand of doom, but it's like a lot of keyboards, cemetery fog, and even the vocals get to have almost blackened, kind of direction, with their stuff. It kind of just fits all around. They've always had really good production, especially a lot more recent albums. It seems to have just gotten better and better. I love the guitar tone. The guitar tone is one of my favorite things on this band. It's like, they move fast enough on their tempo for those who are not usually gravitating towards the grandiose doom. Like I said, these guys play their own branch and style of the horror, spooky side of doom metal, which is very riffy and got really good tone. The keyboards are not overwhelming. It's just enough to kind of give it that atmosphere for their brand of sound. But yeah, give Teuta Philosophia a listen. And it's a band that I feel like always does put out good stuff. Although last time I checked their status, it says on hold. So I'm hoping it makes me a little nervous, because I hope this is not like their last release or some shit went down with the band or they decided to go another direction. Don't go with My Dying Bride on me. It's like a member decides to just run off and start their own other thing. But Aaron, come back to My Dying Bride. Anyway, next up is we're gonna move to like some post-punk territory of different grades and varieties over here. So yeah, this is a recent release, the Night of the Vampire, and so this is it's a one-man project out of Texas, and I fell in love with the first EP. Came out back in like 2022, and it was, what was it, Eternal Night, I believe it was called. And so it's this very like synthy, like I said, it's very post-punky through the way that the production handles the keyboard, and very soft, kind of eerily, kind of whispered vocal approach. So if you're looking for something that has very distinctive lyrical matter, it's going to be very hard to kind of just really digest what he's saying. It's more about the mood and atmosphere when it comes to this. So this is the first full length, as a matter of fact, the Enchanting Winds of the Dreamweavering Masquerade. Jesus, and they try to fit all that in one line. It's like, put two lines, increase the font size. This is the graphic designer side of me. I just kind of just shaking my head, going, you know what I mean? It's like, so there's all that. So Profound Lore put this out, and already sold out like on Bandcamp, like all their shit. So it's like, so this was definitely anticipated, and they kind of went with the ketchup mustard color theme for this, and so not a whole lot put into it. It's just this kind of one thing, no lyric sheet or anything like that. Like I said, it's not really about the lyrics per se. It'd still be nice to know what he's saying. But cool stuff. I feel like with this one, with the first EP, the keyboards were a lot more in your face and more overwhelming. It was his first project of this under this name, to kind of just wanted to hit you over the head. That's kind of what this project's about. But here, I feel like the keyboard's kind of a little more what do you call it, reserved. It's still there. I mean, it still fits. It's the brand of this project, but the guitar's a little more front in the mix. And because I kind of want to know, how good the guitars really were. It was kind of submerged with and drowned in the keyboards on the first EP. Here, it's a little more distinctive and clear, kind of how it is, and just kind of get an idea for how chunky the riffs and the mood of this sound is. It's very even tempoed, should I say? Maybe tempered too, but cool listen. It doesn't fall under that camp. It's like, because I know what you're thinking. Is this another old Nick thing? Is this a grindstone? No. I feel like this kind of the kind of thing where I feel like grindstone wishes they could put out this kind of quality. They probably could. I'm not mean to shit on them, but it wasn't the black metal sphere. They're not taking it seriously with some of that stuff because it's just so over the top and cartoonish in a lot of ways. This right here, it's meant to be quote serious project, but it knows what it is at the same time. But cool stuff. It's if you like your blackened stuff with post punk, that's kind of like newer material. This is definitely worth checking out. If you can find a copy somewhere. So again, I was one of the last ones to snap it up on Bandcamp. This other one right here is a record store find, and on the cheap actually. This is a one man project. It goes under the name of Crick, Croatia, and it's called the Sphere of Teuta, Teuta, Mother Illyria. And so there's the back, Death Shadow. I guess I can't quite read that. But so what is this? So this is basically. It does have some guest vocals. Okay. So this is not an album really. It's kind of a compilation of all the demos and EP material. He didn't have a whole lot of material. Obviously, it all fit here, but he decided to kind of compile this thing and kind of put it out there, and it's a cool little listen. Like it's definitely raw. It's definitely it's got a post-punk nature, but it's not overwhelming. It's almost like this layer of raw black metal, and the vocals are definitely not up front in the mix. It's kind of like it's a little it's kind of like that Night of the Vampire. It's a little more meant to kind of add to the atmosphere. And it's different. It's definitely different. It's something that I don't hear a lot of this kind of caliber. He's going for a different kind of approach. He decided to kind of add this sort of goth, post-punk kind of layer to that sound to kind of give it that spookiness to it. It is uneven though, because this is kind of what happens when you try to compile all of your mixed materials from the past into one release here. So but I kind of look at this as a cool little experimental listen with different kind of directions. I would love to see a proper full EP, mini LP or album with this that's more cohesive, and so just to know where eventually he will land on finding that sound with this. But it was a cool pickup for $6 or all day, man, all day. This thing definitely rocks. And then last one in this sort of batch is an old album, not metal. This is something from 1983, and really caught my attention. I've seen this around before, didn't really know what it was, and I checked it out on not too long ago on YouTube, and I go, this is pretty cool. I can definitely get into this. And so once I saw a copy of it sitting there, I'm like, yeah, that's going home with me. And so this is Leitmotiv, Caress and Curse, and they're out of the UK. Actually, as a matter of fact, there's another band under the same name that's French. So it might be a bit confusing. So you want to look at the one from Glasgow, wherever that part of I don't even know what city in the UK these guys are from, but they do have quite a bit of material on YouTube. You want to see kind of get an idea what they're like, but it's really cool. Like I said, it's a mini album. It's the only real mini album they put out, and then afterward they kind of put out a slew of little EPs and stuff and singles. and they kind of disbanded, I believe, by 86, 85, 86, something like that. They kind of just disbanded. But it's focused on hooks. It's got pretty good production for something like this. You know, if you like early Killing Joke, it's got some of those little tropes and elements in there. You know, especially that from that first album. You know, every little Joy Division. But take that, put it in the cauldron, and then add like Duran Duran. If Duran Duran were more goth and post punk to their sound, you kind of get something like Leitmotiv. Leitmotiv. I don't know. I'm a Yank. We can't pronounce anything. So, yeah. So there's that. Again, just black. Yeah. The what do you call it? The spear Teuta was also black, so I didn't forgot to show it, but not like it really matters. Does it have a cool label? That's the part that everybody wants to know. Just a simple, basic label, put out by Paragon. Yeah, don't know that particular Paragon. I know another Paragon, but they definitely did not put this one out. So there's that. Right here, I do have some punk, hardcore punk. I know with this particular channel, it's not the usual demographic for this, but it's just some stuff I required. So the Boils, World Poison. This is classified as a kind of oi. Though I don't hear much oi in these guys, like some other bands that are a little more prevalent. I kind of look at these guys as more, if you like the Casualties, Dropkick Murphys, and kind of stuff in that ilk. These kind of fall in that direction. This is a local band to me. These guys are out of the Philly area, Westchester, if you will. And so what's funny is I already had another copy of this, which is kind of like it's white. And so this is I guess the black edition. That's the Cyclone, which I think the other one is also Cyclone. So I'm not sure why they changed the cover. So this is the band that you may know them from the song "The Orange and the Black," which became the Philadelphia Flyers, if you follow hockey, official anthem. And so I don't believe this band is around anymore. But I was aware of these guys since like the 90s. I actually used to go to school with somebody who was pretty tight with this band. So, and that's how they kind of came into my what do you call it, attention. So this other one here is a bona fide classic, and was pretty excited to see kind of a copy of this sitting around. Not like it's too difficult to find, but it's kind of like nice little historical piece of what you call hardcore punk out of Italy. It's Impact, Solo Odio, which I believe just translates to Only Hate. And very highly charged, aggressive, very in-your-face hardcore punk of its time. So the kind of stuff that you'd expect during this period. So pretty cool. And Radiation Records reissued this, considering that it was very hard to find for a long time. Trying to get an original copy of this, it's going to go for some pretty serious money. Probably expect to pay over $100, $80, $100, maybe $120. I've seen it float around for an OG. So this one, I believe, came out in '85 when they dropped this. So from 1985, yeah, it's quite years old. The band themselves incorporated back in 1980 and put out quite a few singles and EPs and stuff, since then. Not a whole lot of material, but just there's been one more full length, I believe, after this. And by full length, I mean like 15-minute, 16-minute albums. It moves very fast. It's very charged, like I said. But it's good stuff. The melodies, everything is very clear and easy to pick out. It's not as raw as I thought it was going to be, but definitely a cool spin. If you've seen around, if you have any interest whatsoever in hardcore punk, especially of the classic era, yeah, definitely check it out. All right, so let's end this segment with some death doom. One of my favorite genres. I was on the heavy metallurgy the Friday night. We were talking about like the tropes of metal, and I kind of brought out an example of doom metal and a lot of stuff that we see, and quickly kind of showed this off, which is In Grief, Echoes of Doom, but didn't really explain it, which I thought was a little unfair for some of you who may not know this project. It was feeling a little curious. So In Grief, or a doom band out of Italy, Paul Vomit, who played bass for Black Oath. So another Italian doom band, if you're familiar. Black Oath are not death doom, but this project is, and it's kind of this was the first EP that dropped in 2020, and they put out a full length in 2022, An Eternity in Misery, and so I'm looking forward for another full length for these guys. It's their only full length, but this first EP is still my favorite thing they put out. This is kind of reminds me of just their sound in general. If you're a fan of the Asphodelis, the band out of Finland, or Mother of Graves from right here in the U.S., you'll feel right at home with something like this. They do that Peaceville 3 thing pretty well. Although their sound does pick up more of a faster tempo at times, it's more death metal leaning, but it quickly goes back into that old school 90s kind of death doom. So these guys kind of worship that era. You can kind of tell here, and along with their full length, but really cool stuff. I know that this is the kind of thing that can quickly get lost and overlooked, and it was a Ripping Storm Records put out this tape. Pretty cool jacket with all the stuff here. So if you see it around, definitely check it out, especially if you're a fan of 90s death doom. These guys aren't reinventing the wheel in any kind of way, but it's another project that kind of shows the appreciation for the bands that were doing that stuff at the time. So, but I am looking forward to their next full length and see what they how they kind of build on that. But it'd be really great if they start to kind of move in their own direction, start developing a lot of their own little intricacies and of their identity. I feel like a band like Mother of Graves is doing that really well. It's probably why they got a lot more attention and praise through that. Plus, the vocalist for Mother of Graves is one of the best probably around right now, kind of in general. So I pulled these two tapes over here from the Shrouded Winter distro put these two out, and it was a very limited run, but I kind of just want to make a mention of these two bands. One's no longer around, and so these two are from Norway, and because being that the Easter season is upon us, this is death doom, kind of more in the Christian direction. Yeah, think like Paramecium. Something along that ilk. And so Implacable, These Dark and Shadow Ways, is so this is a compilation of all their stuff, and it was a full band, and no longer around. The vocalist actually passed away back in 2013, I believe. So sadly, doesn't seem like we're going to get any more material from this band, but this is some really good stuff. We got kind of got the keyboards, the female vocals. So you got two vocalists on here, and I don't know if they ever plan on returning and getting another vocalist at some point. But this is the only material put out as far as tapes for all their stuff. Kind of it'd be great if there was a CD copy put out by this, but this is the only thing that exists. So this is my copy. Is the 33 out of 50. And very well done, very good, very clear production, even for its time. I was really amazed at what great of a product this is. And so this is actually my second copy. I had a copy of this a little while back, and I sent it to was it you, Mark G? I think I sent it to Mark G a little while back, because I feel like this is something that needed to be in his possession. He is and I don't think he's heard of them either. This is very obscure, and again, it was very very little known. Another one here is put out also by them, Shroud of Winter, and this is another 50 copies limited, and this is number 19. And this is the Roots of Tragedy, Awakening Beyond. Not the most amazing cover at all. And this the production's a little more raw. There's a little more atmosphere in this. It is a one-man project. And Roots of Tragedy right here. So here's the jacket. Like I said, nothing on the inside, but it's a limited run. And so this one came out around 2007, 2008. It's not terribly old or anything like that. But another very low run, very obscure death doom. And it kind of another one that if you like that really old 90s style death doom, this is definitely worshipping in that camp at the same time. However, I do have to say that the latest release, I believe, is the album Doctrine. He moved on quickly from this sound. He kind of transitioned into more of a progressive. It's more progressive, more technical. I kind of abandoned the whole classic era Death Doom sound. So if you're gonna explore this, I'm just telling you, just so you know. So if you start with Doctrine, you're gonna go, this sounds nothing like what you talked about. So I'm really referring to this, Awakening Beyond, Roots of Tragedy. Really good shit. And last but not least, oh yeah. So before I move on, so if you're curious, and for all you 2 people that actually watch my channel, so here is a code if you want to check it out. Right there. So I don't know if that's a Y or a 4. Punch it into until it works, and there you go. So gotta get it out there. You know, let the people know. So yeah, this one here I was really excited about, and actually I think I did send a copy to Mark G of this one too. I actually had an OG CD of the Into the Autumn Shade for Ceremonium at one point, and I thought it was very, very disturbing. So I sent a really nice VCLT package with a lot of other stuff too, which is you know, as I love doing this, you know, and sending people music and exploring new things. And so this is a band out of New York, and this is a 1995 first full length. The first what was it called? The first release from Ceremonium was Nightfall in Heaven. And it was a demo they put out in 1993, and this right here was something that was, even at the time, was pretty obscure. But I would probably describe it as something more the early Paradise Lost, Winter, not as punishing and heavy as Winter, but it does kind of have that bit of that slow tempo. It's got the keyboards. But this is another band where they kind of moved on from this sound. Whenever you hear Ceremonium brought up, they're usually referring to this album. There is one more release called No Longer Silent. So really happy that Rada Records and Conspiracy with Necroharmonic and Extremely Rotten, they all kind of collabed to make this reissue happen. So this is the first time on vinyl. So that was another reason why I'm really excited to know that they released this in the format. I've been wanting this on vinyl for quite a while, but in 1995, a lot of vinyl was not the main thing anymore. And so this is it looks almost black, but it's actually a very dark purple. I don't know if it'll show up in a light. It's very, very dark purple. So if you're not really paying attention, you would think it's black, but really cool label treatment there. So I was really excited about that. It just came with this this insert. But you know, if you're curious about the band, you know, they did split up in 2004, and Ceremonium does have a compilation disc, which is also hard to find. So, and it's the only pressing that I'm aware of right here, which is, what do they call it? Dreams We Have Written, and this basically compiles all of their material, the demos, the promo they did in 2001, and so if you could find it somewhere and for a good price, it is definitely worth its weight in gold. I really wish they just did a proper reissue again so it can get in more people's hands. Yeah, these things are annoying because the disc always falls out. But I love the what they did with the booklet with everything else here, lyrics and kind of just a bit of a story and background on the band, and old pictures. And so there is some of the material that's you'll find in here. So it basically has like everything. There's the '93 demo and the 2001 promo under the Eternal Horizon. So by the time they got to their second album, No Longer Silence, you start to notice some more tremolo style riffing. They started abandoning the heavy death doom sound and moving into a faster tempo. They were getting more death metal oriented. And by the time the promo 2001 came around, it was like you can already tell that Ceremonium was kind of moving into other. They were experimenting. They were getting even almost like avant-garde and psychedelic. There's these little tropes kind of showing up in their sound, and they clearly did not want to stay in that death doom direction, and they were kind of expanding, which is kind of a shame, because Into the Autumn Shade it's a relegated, obscure underground classic, and I'm glad it got a vinyl proper reissue. And I believe it's been reissued before in other forms or unofficially, but seeing it like this, I think was the right way to go. And these three distros, thank you for making that happen. But again, they disbanded in 2004, and I always wonder what could have been or what it would have turned out if they decided to keep going. But that's that's how history goes, I guess. So yeah, so that's my pre-Easter season video for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed it. Definitely keep it dreadful. It's always fun to do this kind of thing. I know this video was a bit of a mixed bag of stuff, but you know how I roll, right? So yeah. So thank you all who tune in and watch and all that good stuff. And catch you all. I'm not sure when the next one. Maybe I'll do a 420 thing this year. 420 thing this year. Are you guys interested in seeing that again for 2026? I don't know. Holla out. Catch y'all later.